5 normal aging changes after 60 that look like illness, but aren't. Senior health. Hello, I am Dr. David. In my small clinic, I have welcomed thousands of patients entering their twilight years. There is one question I hear almost every day, not about complex pathologies, but a deeply anxious concern. Doctor, am I sick, or am I just getting old? We live in an era where youth is worshipped, while wrinkles or slowness are viewed as enemies. This inadvertently creates a constant fear in the hearts of the elderly. A bruise appearing on the arm after a slight bump against a table, forgetting an old friend's name, or finding yourself awake at 4 a.m. All of these can easily cause panic, making you think you are suffering from some terminal illness. But did you know? Old age is not a miserable collapse. It is a process of biological transition full of wisdom. Your body, after 60 or 70 years of devoted service, begins to change its rhythm to adapt to a new chapter of life. Today, I am here to help you shed that burden of fear. Together, we will learn about the changes you might mistake for malfunctions, but which are actually your body's way of gracefully adapting to time. But before we begin, I have a small request. If you want to build a community with me that grows old with wisdom, health, and without fear, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell right now. This is how you ensure you don't miss my sincere medical advice. Please leave a comment with the number 1 if you agree with me that growing old is not a disease, but a privilege for the most resilient. The first sign that almost everyone over 60 encounters is that the skin becomes thin and bruises easily, even with very light impact. Many patients come to see me with worried faces. Doctor, is there something wrong with my blood? Or is my liver failing? I often compare our skin to a high-end leather chair. When newly purchased, the leather is plump, with a thick, wonderfully elastic foam cushion underneath. But after decades of use, that cushion gradually thins out. In the human body, that cushion is collagen and the subcutaneous fat layer. Over time, the body reduces the production of these substances, causing the skin to lose its inherent elasticity and thickness. You do not have a blood disease. You simply possess a coat that has weathered time, becoming leaner and more delicate. Beneath that thin skin are the blood vessels. In youth, blood vessels sit deep under a thick layer of fat. But in old age, these vessels move closer to the skin's surface, while the vessel walls become more brittle and fragile. Just a slight bump against a table, or even the pressure from a watch strap, is enough to break a small blood vessel. Because there is no longer a protective cushion, blood leaks just under the skin, creating the purple bruises we call senile purpura. This is physics, natural biology, not a sign of internal organ collapse. Instead of being afraid, learn how to care for this skin. Moisturizing is key. Use a gentle moisturizer daily. Dry skin will be brittle and more prone to cracking. Sun protection. Sunlight is the number 1 enemy that destroys remaining collagen. Protect your skin with long sleeves or sunscreen. Accept the recovery speed. A bruise at age 20 might disappear after 3 days, but at age 70, it might take 3 weeks. That doesn't mean your body is failing. It means it is working more carefully and slowly. Don't panic when you see bruises. See them as medals of time, reminding you that you have lived a long enough life to witness this change. Sign 2. Temporary forgetting. When the brain's library is overloaded, doctor, I just walked into the room to get my glasses but stood there dazed because I couldn't remember why I came in. Do I have Alzheimer's? This is the greatest fear of the elderly. But let me tell you about the miraculous mechanism of the brain. Imagine your brain as a giant library. When you are 20, that library only has a few hundred books. Whatever you need to find, the librarian runs out and gets it instantly. But when you are 70, that library contains millions of books, tens of thousands of memories, knowledge, emotions, and experiences. When you forget a neighbor's name or forget your purpose for entering a room, that book is not lost. It's just that the librarian, in your brain, needs more time to search through that massive data warehouse. The information is still there. It's just stuck somewhere among the millions of pages of your life. Medicine distinguishes very clearly between natural memory aging and dementia. Natural aging. You forget a person's name, but 15 minutes later, while watering plants, that name suddenly pops into your head. Or you forget what you intended to do, but when you return to the original spot, you remember immediately. This is a slowing of retrieval speed, which is completely normal. Dementia. This is when you cannot remember even with prompts, or you struggle to use familiar objects like the TV remote or house keys. Don't let the brain retire too early. Try these ways. Learn something new. Read a book on a topic you've never known. Learn a few phrases of a foreign language, or play a brain game. Social interaction. Meaningful conversations with younger people are a tonic for neurons. Interactive comment. Leave a comment with the number 2 if you have ever forgotten a neighbor's name, but remember a memory from 30 years ago vividly. I will show you how to understand that your brain is not weakening. It is simply prioritizing what is truly valuable. We have just walked through the first 2 chapters of The Art of Aging, the fragility of skin and the slowing of memory. I hope these shares have lightened your heart a bit, removing part of the burden of anxiety. Your body is not betraying you. It is simply telling you, I have traveled a very long way. Now give me a little patience and understanding. Aging is an art, and to master that art, we need to learn how to correctly read the language of the body. Now, let's dive into the next 3 natural changes. Changes often mistaken for cardiovascular, endocrine, or neurological diseases. Sign 3. Changes in the biological clock. When night falls earlier, do you ever feel frustrated because you keep dozing off in your chair right after dinner, only to be wide awake at 4 or 5 a.m. while the rest of the world is still asleep? Many of my patients panic. Doctor, I have chronic insomnia. Give me sleeping pills. But let's stop for a moment. Inside our brain, there is a small gland called the pineal gland, which produces melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. As we age, melatonin production begins to decline and the schedule for secreting this hormone is pushed earlier. This is not insomnia. This is simply your biological clock shifting. Instead of being a night owl, your body wants to become an early lark. Waking up early is not the problem. The problem is your worry about it. If you still feel alert enough during the day, then sleeping 5 to 6 hours and waking up early is not harmful to your health at all. In youth, we have deep sleeps where we are dead to the world. But over time, deep sleep stages shorten, and light sleep cycles take over. That is why you are easily awakened by a small noise, a ray of light, or the person next to you turning over. The elderly body does not need as much time to recover muscles as an athlete, so it adjusts for you to sleep more lightly. Don't confuse light sleep with insomnia. Instead of turning to sleeping pills full of side effects, try accepting the new rhythm. If you are sleepy at 8 p.m., just go to sleep. Don't try to stay awake and disrupt the system. Bedtime ritual. Turn off electronic devices, soak your feet in warm water, and read a few pages of a light book. Sunlight. Go outside in the morning to help the brain reset the biological clock as naturally as possible. Sign 4. Why do you always feel colder than the world around you? You put on an extra sweater while your grandchildren are still in short sleeves. You want an extra blanket while others want to turn on the fan. Is your blood circulation failing? Is your blood pressure dropping? Our body has a heat-generating machine through metabolism. In old age, this machine slows down to conserve energy. When metabolism happens more leisurely, less heat is released. Additionally, as I mentioned in part 1, the subcutaneous fat layer, which acts as natural insulation, has now thinned significantly. Internal body heat easily escapes to the environment. This is not a circulatory pathology. It is a physical change. This feeling of cold is actually an intelligent signal. It reminds you, take a little better care of me. Wear multiple layers. Instead of one thick coat, wear several thin layers to trap warm air between the fabric. Light exercise. Walking a few laps around the house will activate muscles to generate heat naturally. Warm tea. A cup of warm ginger tea in the morning not only warms the body but also soothes the spirit. Sign 5. Hearing changes. When the world becomes quieter, this final sign often leads to psychological hurt. Hearing changes. Inside our ears are thousands of microscopic hair cells that help convert sound vibrations into nerve signals. After 60 to 70 years of persistent work, Receiving all kinds of noise from engines, music festivals to arguments, these cells begin to tire and drop off. This process is called presbycusis. Usually, high-frequency sounds like birds chirping, children's voices, or consonants like S, T, P will disappear first. You still hear people talking, but it sounds mumbled and unclear. Why do you get a headache in crowded places? Because your brain now finds it harder to filter out background noise to focus on a single voice. It tries to process everything at once, leading to overload. Many elderly people, out of hesitation because they cannot hear clearly, choose to stay silent or stop attending parties. This is the biggest mistake. Don't isolate yourself. Speak directly to your children and grandchildren. I can't hear clearly. Please speak slowly and look at my face when you talk. Use technology. If necessary, a hearing aid is not a symbol of weakness. It is a tool for you to continue connecting with the people you love. Leave a comment with the number 4 if you have also felt uncomfortable in an overly loud restaurant. You are not alone. It is a common experience for all of us entering this age. Dear friends, from fragile skin and a wandering memory to early sleep or ears that are no longer sharp, the core message I want to convey is, your body is not betraying you. It is simply changing its way of operating to fit a new stage of life, a stage of contemplation, rest, and enjoying wisdom after a lifetime of striving. Although most changes are natural, as a doctor, I still want you to note the following boundaries. A sudden drop in energy. If you are so tired that you cannot lift your hand even after resting all day. Total forgetting. Forgetting the most familiar faces or forgetting how to do basic daily tasks. Rapid weight loss. Losing a large amount of weight without dieting. If you encounter these, see a doctor immediately. Otherwise, smile and embrace aging. Every wrinkle on your face is a diary entry of years of hardship and glory. Every time you forget a name, it is because your brain is prioritizing keeping more precious life lessons. Every bruise on the skin is a witness to the resilience of a soul that has passed through many storms. Love your body more than ever, because it has served you devotedly for decades. Don't look at old age as a sad sunset, but look at it as a quiet afternoon, where you can sit down, sip a cup of tea, and be proud of the journey you have traveled. Small action for today. Write in the comments one thing you feel most proud of or grateful for regarding your body right now. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so we can continue to grow old together in understanding and peace. I am Dr. David. I wish you a life of peace, a youthful soul, and a healthy body in its own way. Thank you for listening.